I am Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, retired space scientist. We are discussing geography towards civil service prelims examination for the UPSC. We have discussed about the geomorphology a little bit. Given the interior of the earth, study the different layers from core to the surface, including the mantle and all that. Understand now about the endogenetic forces, which are from the earth, from the surface of the earth, which determine some problems on the earth's surfaces. There are two forces. One is exogenetic forces, that is the weather, climate, rain, land drifting because of the heavy rain and such things. And another one is the endogenetic forces. The endogenetic forces are forces from the inside of the earth, like earthquake, tsunami, volcano, the internal forces. The exogenic forces are due to the weather, like erosions and such things. These are the two things which shape or de-shape the earth. Understand, the earth is like a football. Each portion by portion is never stitched together to make a globe. No, it's not. They are all maybe kept together like a layer, which internal there is a lot of fluid, solid core, then the fluid and the solid mixture, then the liquid in some portion like the sea, water, surface. There are ups and downs inside, solid and most rigid and solid, lot of different chemistry. We discussed all that in the earlier section. Now the earth surface is not disconnected from the core, which are tightly packed and kept. No, they are all surfaces which are moving with a large force, large speed, large rotation, large revolution. Understand, the whole thing is like a unpacked, unstitched, more volatile, which are also moving, which are disconnected almost, but because of the magnetic force, because of the structure, because of the electromagnetic effect, it's all staying together, and it's a big globe. Anytime if some extra force comes and then pulls one portion, it could become bits and pieces, but it never happens, because the earth gravity and the solidified structure which connects each other is making it to move in such a fashion. Why I am saying this? Because of this disconnectivity, it has got some problems. So which are the major disconnected pieces which we see, which are called the plates? So these plates are well disjoint. Major 7 plates we understand, which is one of the Asia plate. Earlier it was the Europe and Asia plate, which is called the Eurasian plate. Okay, then the second one is the Europe plate is now separate. The Europe and the Asia was a combined plate, but in between we have got these mountain ranges which made it into different. Once upon a time the whole thing was one. That is where we learn about the Pangea structure movements. The Pangea was one of the settled one portion of the earth, land, and the rest was all water. Because of the movement of this, there are some shift happened, and that today we understand the plates. Today means in millions of years of study time. These plates are not stitched together, but they are kept together. There can be gap in between because there is divergence possible. because of the movement, because of the internal mechanism which happens. It could come out as volcanoes. So wherever the plates are disconnected, when there is a gap from the core, the melted volcanic eruption can come and then can create trouble. When the movements are happening, there can be a tectonic plate movement which could result in a drifting of the two lands. So we call it as earthquake. There can be hitting of two plates and then an eruption of the mountain like Everest, Alps. And we learned that such mountains can be very old mountains, and which can be a new mountain which came in terms of millions of years. So you will see the folds of the mountains which will tell that this is because of the two plates hitting together. So Asian plate and European plate hit together, drifting of Asian plate to the Australian plate we can see. These are all the places where we can have a movement, a change from the earth, from the inside the earth. The lava can come out, therefore we can have volcanoes. We can have huge drift in the water on the sea, in the sea can go inside, and therefore some other places huge height in the water can come up, which we call it as tsunami. So earthquake, volcanoes, and the tsunami, all these are due to the plate movements which are called tectonic plates. Or later part of the time when the whole thing moves, and then how do we understand it's all moving and once upon a time it was Pangea? You take a atlas, look at the African portion, lift it up and then see where it patches. The Indian portion and the Australian portion connected together. You can see the whole thing was one continent once upon a time. That's where the theory of the simplest understanding of the theory. And there are different methods through which zoological study of animals, plants, botanical study where plants, connectivity, seeing the same similar structure, similar animals which lived in this continent and the other continent. Therefore, the theory of the continent drift, once upon a time it was together, now today it is very far. These learning through different technologies like carbon dating technology or the plate tectonic through the earth geophysics study. So geophysics study which leads to some understanding, plus the zoological or botanical study which also leads to such conclusions. Therefore, once upon a time the Pangea. Now today we talk about the 7 different plates. All this we don't know. Maybe after millions of years, the plate tectonics can predict, or the study of plate tectonics can predict that there could be a day when all these continents will join together and will become one island with all the sea around it. Like starting from a Pangea, we could reach into some other structure after some time. Thank you.